My wife said she was going vegan and stopped eating dinner with me. I thought it was a phase. Then one night, she came home wearing a hoodie that wasn't hers. It smelled like men's cologne and barbecue. I followed her the next day and watched her laugh over ribs with another man. I waited outside. As they left, I handed her a takeout box and said, "Since you're eating meat again, thought you might like this." Inside was a USB drive full of screenshots and her wedding ring. She never called me back. My name's Luke. I'm 36. I work as a regional service tech for a big HVAC company here in Durham, North Carolina. It's not glamorous, but it pays well, and I've always had steady work. I'm not a flashy guy. I wear work boots, drive a Ram 1500 with some dings in the side, and I love barbecue more than I probably should. 6 years ago, I met Molly. She was working at this boutique on 9th Street. I was in there looking for a gift for my mom and had no clue what I was doing. Molly walked right up, teased me for looking lost, then helped me pick out a candle and scarf combo. I asked her out that day. She was smart, sharp-witted, the kind of woman who called you out when you were being dumb but also looked at you like you mattered. I fell hard. We got married after 2 years. Bought a 2-bedroom ranch just outside downtown. Adopted a pit lab mix named Toby. Friday nights were sacred. She'd make her baked mac and cheese, and I'd do ribs or pulled pork on the smoker. We'd sit on the porch, play old country music, and talk about everything and nothing. It was good. It was real. Or I thought it was. 3 months ago, things started shifting. It was a Tuesday. I remember because I'd picked up brisket from a buddy's food truck that just opened up. Molly came home with 2 grocery bags from Whole Foods. She didn't even say hi, just went straight to the kitchen. Then she looked me dead in the eye and said, "I'm going vegan." No lead up. No conversation. Just that. I blinked. "Since when?" "I've been thinking about it," she said, unloading bags full of tofu, kale, almond milk, and some stuff I couldn't pronounce. "It just doesn't feel right anymore, putting dead animals in my body. It's not who I am now." "No?" I joked, lightly. "You realize we just had brisket last Saturday." She didn't smile. "Yeah, and it made me feel sick. So I backed off. Figured maybe it was a health thing or some documentary she watched. People change." I didn't want to be the guy that mocked her for trying something new. The first week, I kept making my own dinners. She'd make her vegan stuff and sit with me, though she'd wrinkle her nose at the smell. Then she started eating in the living room. Said the smoke and grease made her feel queasy. Next thing I knew, she wasn't coming to bed until after I was asleep. Started reading more, journaling, doing meditations with some app. "I'm reconnecting with myself," she said. I asked if she was okay. She said she was fine. I told myself to give her space. But the distance between us kept growing. Then came the hoodie. It was a Thursday night, about 10:30. She was supposed to be at book club. Said they were discussing eating animals or the omnivore's dilemma, one of those. I was in bed watching TV when I heard the front door open. Molly walked in quiet. I didn't say anything right away. Something felt off. She walked through the house and straight into the shower without even looking at me. But I caught the smell. She was wearing a black hoodie with a logo on the chest I didn't recognize. Way too big for her. And it smelled like cologne. Men's cologne. Not mine. Something strong and fancy, like something out of a GQ ad. Under that was another smell. Smoky. Sweet. Familiar. Barbecue. I got out of bed and walked into the living room. Picked up the hoodie from the couch. Sniffed it. Cologne. Barbecue smoke. Grease. I stood there for a long time, holding it. She came out of the shower a few minutes later and acted like nothing happened. I didn't ask. I just told her I was going to bed. But I didn't sleep much that night. The next day, I started looking through our shared calendar. She had 5 book clubs scheduled over the last 6 weeks. All on weeknights. All in different parts of town. I asked once if I could come. She said it was just girls only, and I wouldn't like the crowd. I waited until the next meeting. That afternoon, she left around 6, said they were meeting near Brightleaf Square. I gave her a kiss goodbye. She gave me a quick smile and drove off in her car. I followed, 10 minutes behind. Stayed back a few car lengths the whole time. She parked downtown. I watched from across the street as she walked into Bull City Grill. Not exactly vegan central. I waited in my truck. About 30 minutes later, I saw her through the window. She was sitting at a booth with a guy. Tall, tan, dark beard. He looked like the kind of guy who spends way too much time at the gym and thinks everything he says is brilliant. They were laughing. She had barbecue sauce on her fingers. He handed her a rib. She bit into it like it was nothing. She didn't look sick. She looked happy. Too happy. They left an hour later. As they walked out, she wiped her hands with a napkin, still smiling. He opened the door to his truck for her. I waited by the exit. When they stepped outside, I walked up, calm as I could be. She saw me and froze. Her face went pale. He looked confused. "Who's this?" I held out a small takeout box. Said, "Since you're eating meat again, thought you might like this." She didn't take it at first, just stared. I handed it to her. Inside was a USB drive full of screenshots. Our shared calendar entries. Her text messages that had synced to our cloud. Credit card charges for dinners at non-vegan restaurants. A printout of one receipt for the Pit in Raleigh, 2 entrees, 1 full rack of ribs. And her wedding ring. She didn't say a single word. Just took the box. I walked away. She never came home that night. She never called me the next day. It's been 3 weeks since that night outside Bull City Grill. She never came home. Never called. Never texted. At first, I expected an explosion now. Tears, yelling, some long-winded excuse about how I wasn't emotionally available or how I didn't grow with her. But nothing came. Just silence. The only thing I got was a certified letter from her lawyer, delivered 5 days later. Inside, notice of separation and a formal request for me to vacate the house within 30 days, unless I wished to negotiate terms of buyout or sale. That house was mine before I met her. My name was on the deed. But she'd been paying half the mortgage for years, and now suddenly, she wanted half. The audacity burned. She ghosted me completely but still wanted her fair share. Like I was just a stepping stone to her new life. Her new ribs-eating, cologne-wearing life. I didn't respond right away. Instead, I went digging. I started with the hoodie. Found the logo online. It was from a local CrossFit gym called Iron Forge. Their Instagram was full of sweaty selfies and group workouts. And there he was. Same guy from the restaurant, tagging her in posts with fire emojis. One of the videos showed him and Molly high-fiving after a workout, her hair tied back, that same damn hoodie wrapped around her waist. So that was her book club. I kept scrolling. I wasn't even mad at that point. I was obsessed. I needed to know how long it had been going on, what I'd missed. Then I found something that made my blood turn cold. A photo posted 8 weeks ago. Molly and the guy, his name was Seth, apparently. At a private barbecue party. Her in a sundress. Him holding a beer. Caption: "Perfect night with the perfect partner." I zoomed in on the background. Our dog was there. Toby. Toby, in a yard that wasn't ours. She had taken my dog to another man's house to eat meat and drink beer and laugh under string lights while I sat at home thinking she was discovering kale and tofu. That was the moment something shifted inside me. Hurt turned into anger. Not screaming, throwing things anger. No, the quiet kind. Focused. Controlled. I opened a new folder on my computer. Titled it, The Disassembly. I started gathering everything. Every screenshot. Every financial trail. Every timestamp. I knew she had been pulling money out of our joint account for months, claiming she needed it for therapy and nutrition coaching. She wasn't lying. She was just using different definitions. But here's the kicker. She had also been putting large amounts into a separate account. I found the paper trail. She opened a bank account under her maiden name and had been funneling money into it little by little. She was preparing to leave long before I ever caught her. She was trying to erase me quietly. I copied everything. Then I went to a lawyer. A friend of mine from high school had a cousin, Rebecca, who handled messy divorces. She didn't do the soft kind. She was a shark in flats. When I showed her everything, she leaned back, crossed her arms, and said, "You want to burn her down, or just walk away?" I stared at the folder on the table. "Burn it down," I said. She smiled. "Good. Because we've got leverage." Rebecca went to work fast. Within a week, she filed a motion to freeze the joint assets and contest Molly's claim to the house. Since it was in my name before the marriage, and I'd been paying the mortgage directly from my income, Rebecca argued it was separate property. That mattered. A lot. But she didn't stop there. She also filed to subpoena Molly's new bank account. And because Molly had used joint funds to pay for personal expenses unrelated to the marriage, like gym memberships, dinners, and God knows what else, we had grounds to go after reimbursement. That hit like a hammer. 2 days later, Molly finally reached out. She didn't call or come in person. She texted, "Molly, can we talk?" I think we both deserve closure. This is getting hostile. Hostile? You cheat, lie, disappear, take my dog, try to steal my house, and I'm the hostile one? I didn't respond. That same day, Rebecca forwarded me something from the court system. Molly had filed her own motion. She was trying to claim that our marriage was emotionally abusive and that she was forced to hide her relationship out of emotional distress. I sat there staring at that PDF, jaw clenched. She wasn't just trying to leave me. She was trying to paint herself as the victim. But here's where it turned. Remember the USB drive I gave her? I had made copies of everything. And one of those things, something I hadn't paid much attention to at the time, was a voice recording. Back when Molly first started pulling away, I tried to talk to her one night. Told her I felt like she was drifting. She brushed it off, but I remember her words exactly. If I wanted to cheat, Luke, I would. And I'd be smart enough that you'd never find out. I had that on audio. Dated 2 months before I caught her. Rebecca smiled when I sent it over. Let her keep digging, she said. She's burying herself. But that wasn't the twist. Not yet. The twist came from Seth. Apparently, he didn't know Molly was still married. I found this out because, after I ignored her texts, she messaged me again. Molly, Seth saw your lawyer's filings. He's upset. I need to talk to you. Please. Now she needed closure. So I sent one text. Me, tell Seth to check his gym's Google reviews. I had posted a review under my real name. No lies, just facts. Trainer at Ironforge knowingly dating a married client. Classy. I didn't think it would do much. But the next day, the post blew up. Other people started commenting, women who had stories. Rumors. At least 2 claimed Seth had been overly friendly during private sessions. One said he hit on her after her 3rd class. Turns out, Seth wasn't Mr. Clean either. That gym? Family-owned. And once the owners caught wind, they suspended him pending investigation. That was the last straw. Molly showed up at the house. It was a Saturday morning. I was in the garage, working on my bike, when I saw her little white Subaru pull up. She got out, looking like hell. No makeup. Hair tied back. Hoodie again, but not his. She walked up slow. No smile this time. I lost everything, she said. Can we just talk? I didn't move. Just wiped my hands on a rag and said, now you want to talk? She looked down. I screwed up. I didn't say anything. Then she said it. Words I wasn't ready for, but should have seen coming. I want Toby back. My hand tightened on the rag. She wasn't there for closure. She wanted my damn dog. She stood there, hands in her hoodie pocket, asking for the dog like she was asking for a jacket she forgot. I laughed. It came out cold. Sharp. You lost the house. You lost your gym boy. And now you think you can just have Toby back? He was mine too, she said. I walked him. I took him to the vet. You took him to another man's backyard. She flinched. You don't get to play the heartbroken ex now, I said. You left this life before you ever walked out the door. I made mistakes, Luke, she said, voice breaking. But you were cold. Distant. You stopped seeing me. You just wanted things the same forever. She was trying to flip it now. Blame me. And part of me, the dumb part, almost gave in. I had missed things. I had buried myself in work and my routines. I'd assumed Molly would always be there, smiling through the smoke on Friday nights. I didn't ask questions when she started pulling away. Didn't push when she said she needed space. I let the distance grow because I was scared of what I might hear. But none of that excused this. I might have messed up, I said. But I didn't cheat. I didn't lie. I didn't take our dog and eat ribs behind your back while pretending to be someone else. Tears welled in her eyes. I believed they were real. But they came too late. I pointed to her car. You need to leave. Now. I loved you, look, she whispered. You know that, right? I didn't answer. She stood there for another second, then turned and walked to her car. I watched her drive off. I thought that was it. But a week later, I came home from work to find my fence gate wide open and Toby gone. I panicked. Drove around the block. Called his name. Nothing. I called the shelter. Animal control. Local vets. 2 hours later, I got a text from an unknown number. He's safe. You don't deserve him. No name. No photo. Just that. I knew it was her. I went to the police, filed a theft report, brought the past legal filings, the photos, the timeline. It took 2 more days, but the police found him. She dropped him at a friend's house in Raleigh and told them I abused him. Luckily, Toby was chipped, and my vet records proved he was well cared for. When the officer handed him back to me, I almost cried. I didn't even realize how much I'd been holding in until I had him in the truck, his head on my lap. But I wasn't done. See, during all this, while the legal battle was dragging on, while she was hiding behind lies, I'd kept quiet about one thing: the business account. When we got married, I helped Molly set up an online craft store, handmade jewelry and home decor. I built the site, paid for the ads, even handled the shipping for the first year. When she left, she tried to claim it was her business, said I had nothing to do with it, but I still had admin access. So I waited. And on the day the court finalized our separation, with her getting nothing but the car and her bank account, I logged in and shut it all down. Not out of spite, out of fairness. She didn't want to share the life we built? Fine. She didn't get to profit from it either. The next day, she emailed me, "You petty, bitter bastard. I lost everything because of you." I didn't reply. I sat on the porch that night, Toby curled at my feet, and watched the sun go down. No barbecue, no beer, just quiet. I'd won, but it didn't feel like a win. Truth is, I made mistakes too. I stopped listening. I stopped checking in. I thought routine was safety, when really it was silence. But I didn't lie. I didn't cheat. And I didn't pretend to be someone I wasn't. She burned down our life chasing something new. I just made sure she didn't get to walk away from the ashes smiling. That's not revenge. That's just balance. And some people don't like the weight of that.